Hello and welcome to your real estate show for 2021. My name is Rachel Williams. Really excited to be back in the studio with thanks to Harcourts Tasmania for your real estate show. We've got a great year coming up for you and we'll bring you the latest insights and information from right across Tasmania. Tonight we've got a great show for you. We're going to be talking market with the latest RBA interest rate decision yesterday, leaving interest rates at a record low. We've also got some top interior design tips with thanks to nationally acclaimed and award-winning interior designer Lydia Maskiell, and we're going to take a comprehensive look at what's happening across the region in the northeast. But first, we're going to show you through a property in Launceston, a city where if you don't snap up the house you want straight away, it'll be gone. The average days on market are just 18. That's down from 28. Hi David, how you going?
Hi Rach, I'm well, and yourself?
I'm really well. Now we're here in Westbury Road in Launceston where property is just going gangbusters in this city. Tell us a little bit about this amazing property you have for us that's at a really reasonable price point.
Yeah, it is Rach. It's so close to CBD. As you know, it's getting really hard to find something like that. And in the mid-sixes, even more so.
And mid-sixes, you're getting 4 bedrooms and a multi-tenancy option.
Yeah, definitely. We've got dual tenancy there potential. So upstairs, downstairs, living, dining, kitchens, and maybe even Airbnb is an option.
Sounds perfect for that. I'm going to take a look and I'll see you on the other side.
Sounds good.
Oh, wow, it's actually really spacious. Amazing kitchen, dining and living areas, and a wraparound deck right to the front entrance with views over a beautiful canopy of trees right down to the Tamar River. The master bedroom's actually quite big. There's a really nice walk-in wardrobe, ensuite, and really lots of lovely lights streaming through from this really nice outdoor alfresco area. Loving the outdoor undercover space with sun coming in all afternoon, overlooking this really amazingly well landscaped backyard. It goes right the way back down to that fence, so the opportunities are endless. Don't let a steep driveway deter you though. This place has 4 off-street flat car parks plus 2 in an undercover locked garage. David, living the dream down by this entertainer's fire pit, perfect property that I've just been through. I'm expecting that it's going to sell pretty quickly in this current market.
Yeah, we think so, Rach. It's for sale now by expressions of interest, and we're thinking around the mid-sixes.
Okay, if you've got mid-sixes sort of money, give David a call. When it comes to style, many Tasmanians look to Lydia Maskiell for their inspiration. She's a nationally acclaimed interior designer, and we're going to be joined by her shortly in a new segment called Your Lifestyle, with thanks to Snooze Launceston. Well, hello Lydia, thank you so much for joining us on your real estate show. We've been watching your journey to award-winning success nationally. Congratulations on that. We're going to be working with you this year as we work through and look through one of your award-winning homes at Hawley and also some of your projects that are in process. So we're really looking forward to that. But today we're talking interior top tips. Tell me, what is the #1 trend that you are forecasting this season?
I think it's going to be neutral luxe. I think it's going to be really big in 2021. It's all about creating neutral, calming colour palettes. So starting with a base of your browns, your greys, your greige, and then and pairing it with sort of more contrasting accents like your black and your white, and even just touches of brass, just to make it feel a little bit high end.
Well, those photos that we're seeing of some of your current projects certainly look amazing. And it's really exciting, I think, to see that we're really getting a little bit back to nature. I think we all spent so much time at our homes during COVID and outdoors in our backyards. We're trying to bring that nature in, aren't we? And there's a lot more natural and timber going to be on display from what I can see.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, boho was so big in 2020 that it's now a progression of that moving into 2021. So using those earthy tones, really similar to the neutral luxe in terms of the colour palette, but it does have a bit more of a relaxed vibe to it, which I think will be really nice for that comfort and that cocooning feel within homes.
And it's really nice. We're calling it earthy comfort, so lots of timber through the bathrooms and living spaces as well,
absolutely.
which is exciting.
And I guess those materials too, like even that distressed timber stool, like it's telling a story. So we're sort of craving pieces that are starting to tell a bit more of a story, which is nice.
And I do love a little pop of colour every now and then.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's not going to be red in 2021. What is going to be the big colour of the year?
Oh, look, Pantone have actually released their colour of the year as illuminating yellow and the ultimate grey, which I'll be interested to see how much yellow comes through in interiors. You know, and I guess now that we're actually craving more of a holiday, we're trying to create that holiday-like feel at home. I think we'll see a lot more of the yellow coming through.
And some of these nice blues as well, they look really lovely, and greys and the wallpaper, that's looking amazing on some of your projects.
Absolutely, and I think because we have been cooped up for so long, we want that fun and playful element to our interiors. And, you know, I spoke with Natalie from Natty and Polly the other day, and she's had a huge amount of sales in wallpaper because people want that little fun, playful element, I guess, to their homes.
And I suppose it's something that's relatively cost effective. You can change quite regularly.
Yeah, you can. It's not as hard as it used to be. People are terrified of wallpaper, but it is a lot easier now too. So it's
we've all got memories of having to scrape it off after failed efforts.
Absolutely. So. Much easier now, which is really nice. So
wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your top interior tips for 2021. We will get you back on the show, and we're going to go out on location as well with you with some of your amazing projects.
Great.
So
thanks for having me.
Our absolute pleasure. Now, we're going to go to a regional profile. There's so many regions across the state that are doing amazing things with house sales, and one of those is the Northeast. Let's check it out with Thanks to Homely. Well, we're in Scottsdale. It's a gloomy day today, but Greg Howard, the Mayor of Dorset, the outlook for the region's anything but gloomy.
Absolutely, yes. We're certainly pumping at the moment, the northeast. You know, we're very pleased with the tourism numbers that have arrived over the last 2 or 3 months since the border restrictions came down, and agriculture's been really good. We've had a fantastic season rain-wise, and some people think rain's gloomy, but farmers don't think.
Farmers will be happy.
Farmers don't think that. Look, real estate's booming. You know, jobs, our unemployment is very, very low, and yeah, look, the outlook is very, very promising.
Well, let's talk about real estate. Derby, obviously, an amazing story of transformation from 10 years ago when properties were struggling to sell at $20,000.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, as I said, you could have bought the, you know, you could have bought the whole town for probably $1 million, you know, 10 years ago. And since the mountain bikes arrived at Derby, real estate prices have just gone through the roof. And you know, the average price is well in excess of $300,000 now for what is essentially an old miner's hut. You know, 2 bedrooms, sometimes outside facilities, and yeah, and only on the market a very, very short period of time, and they're sold.
And a spin-off for all those other smaller areas that we probably don't hear about.
Yeah, so Ringarooma, Branxholme, and Winnaleah especially, they get quite a spin-off from Derby, and they've seen us not as larger increase in their real estate price, but they've certainly seen a jump in the real estate prices. And Branxholme, especially since we built that new trail to Branxholme, they've seen quite an increase in, you know, there's an Italian restaurant there, and there's a pizza parlour and the pub and things like that, and the swimming pool, and we've spent a bit of money on that. So that's just what we've tried to do, is give a bit more product for people who don't necessarily want to ride the bike, so for families and, you know, partners and children and things like that.
And obviously here in Scottsdale, some pretty challenging times over the last few years, but things are rebounding.
Yeah, look, we lost 800 or 900 jobs over a period of 5 or 6 years with the loss of the vegetable factory and the 2 major pine sawmills, and then of course the Tasmanian Forest Agreement didn't do any good for native forest as well. So I reckon we've got 600 or 700 of those back, to be honest, and once again, you know, it's hard to find a house to rent or buy in Scottsdale, and you know, they're on the market for a week and they're sold unless you're seriously overpriced.
Yeah. And they've gone up $100,000.
And they've gone up $100,000. Yeah,
Yeah.
they was about 187 about 4 years ago was the median house price, and now it's around 300. So yeah, really positive for Scottsdale as well.
And further to the coast, obviously beautiful Bridport, such a lovely place for people to live and holiday at.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Bridport's, you know, always been a favourite spot for locals, but there's a lot of people out of Launceston have discovered Bridport, and from the rest of Tasmania as well, and the house prices down there have just gone through the roof, essentially. And mind you, there's a few families out of Launceston who have actually decided Bridport's such a great place that they've moved down there to live and send their kids to school locally and travel to Launceston to work.
Yeah. And so how can you see the future of this wonderful municipality grow? There's lots of new exciting things from a rural perspective as well.
Yeah, there is. We probably need a reasonable sized manufacturing plant of some sort, and look, there's a few options on the table. I mean, there's a sand mining option being proposed for some of the sand dunes at Waterhouse, which are encroaching on the farmland. There's a lot of milk being produced in the area, and while there's probably not enough to build a full-scale factory, we could probably build a reducing type factory, you know, so you reduce the quantity of milk you take down the coast, because most of it's only water anyway. And look, and downstream vegetable processing, I think, is still an option, because we've got the new irrigation scheme came online in February, and we've got good soil, good climate, huge scope to actually build some sort of vegetable processing plant. So that's what we'll be working on. And the other issue is, of course, we need a decent road out of here, which we've got some money for, but we need a bit more.
So how is everyone paying for this increased demand in property across the state? We're joined now by Toby Mahoney from Urban Money, who's going to have a chat to us about finance. Toby, welcome to you. The RBA left interest rates on hold at a record low 0.10% yesterday. Probably not a surprising decision by them.
It gets confusing, doesn't it? So
I'm not a numbers person.
Yeah, it's certainly not surprising, and I think it's going to actually stay that way for a little bit longer yet. The Reserve Bank is talking about their 3-year bonds, and then predicting that 0.01% with their bond rate. So unless we see a massive change in inflation, and they can keep in that between that 2 to 3%, and also, you know, reducing that job figures to, you know, the jobless figures, bringing that down. There's really going to be no sort of change to that rate for, you know, for the short term at least, you know, potentially up to that 3 years.
Yeah, I have heard the 3-year figure, which is quite a significant time. So good time to be borrowing money.
It certainly is, yes.
And from the latest Australian Bureau of Statistics data, we're seeing that the total value of loan commitments for housing reached record highs in December. That's pretty exciting.
It's amazing, and it's just, there's no end in sight with that as well. So with record interest rates offered from the bank as well, under 2% in some cases. Here in Tasmania, we're actually seeing, again, record numbers. Last year, we increased our borrowings by 140 million, so which is quite a considerable amount.
Yeah, and so people are taking advantage of the fact that interest rates are so low, and the banks have predominantly passed on that official cash rate?
Yeah, look, they've predominantly passed it on. It's not necessarily as impacted as much as what it used to in terms of the cash rate versus what the banks offer, but that is still something that they still obviously look at and cop a lot of flack from the government for.
And we will talk about it a lot more in detail in future episodes, but just very quickly, it is taking a while to get that money into your bank account from the bank that you choose.
Yeah, it is, and that's the sign of the times at the moment with the way that policies and that are driving the banking industry, and it can take up to 30 days, so it's important to have that conversation early.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your insight today, and we'll, as I said, be joining you, or you can join us in future episodes throughout your real estate show. So thank you for that, Toby.
Thanks.
Well, that's it for your real estate show for our first episode back for 2021. I hope you've enjoyed it. A big thank you to Harcourts Tasmania for again coming on board as our major naming rights partner. And also a big thank you and welcome to Snooze Launceston and to Homely. Thank you for your support as well to ensure that we can get this program off the ground every week. But for now, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rachel Williams. Bye for now.